You are in for an interesting ride.
Hey folks, for another short vignette from the ET Newsroom featuring Mike Smith, aka Bill Brooks, who left us on Saturday the 13th of October 2023 for other planes. He, in 2018, in February, contacted me about an event that he'd had whilst he was going in traffic. I thought he'd told me he was pretty static in traffic, but in fact he was going about 50 miles an hour, but there was a lot of traffic. So whilst he couldn't stop or get onto the hard shoulder or anything, he was going through towns. He saw this incredible sight, which was right around the area, in fact, right over the area of his childhood abductions in the West Midlands of the UK, which for those of you who don't know where that is, that's a kind of Birmingham, Stourbridge, and for Bill, Wordsley. So we're going to listen to a phone call that I recorded. The reason I am redoing this is because I've cleaned up the audio again, done another re-edit, and hopefully you'll be able to hear what he has to say about this really interesting, it was a close-up personal sighting. Not the kind of thing he has had in this way before. He reckoned that from 2011 on, he hadn't experienced any abductions, but right from 1950 virtually till then, he had. And then he did have sightings afterwards, and of course he had this one in. So I just wanted to share this with you again. I hope you'll enjoy it, especially because Bill left us recently, so it's kind of poignant. Please do share your positive comments. We don't need the others. Let me know what you think. Enjoy this, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Bye. I really wanted to share with you the conversation that Bill had with me yesterday about his exceptional sighting that he had on Saturday the 24th of February 2018. We're looking at a static image of Bill with my lovely little boy, Lakeland Terrier Cross Jacques, who left the planet in 2015, sadly. But this is the very field where Bill had his experience with the Nordics, and at that point it was a cropped, massive crop, and also a crop circle, just as they had landed with these two spheres that had been around him. Anyway, the woods that you can see in the near distance there are Stourton Woods, Stourton, and they were the woods that Bill was taken from as a child by the reptilians. So it's really interesting that this place in the Black Country, the West Midlands of the UK, has this locale as some kind of frequency portal that allows this to happen. I just wanted to share that with you, and this graphic you might not have seen before, but although it just looks like a field and some woods, that is what it is. And now, although it was remote in the days when he was a child in 1960, these days it's very popular with dog walking. Now, this is the first time Bill's had such a close-up personal experience like this for quite a number of years, although he's had sightings. Here we go. This is Bill on the phone with his permission being recorded. Okay, so talking with Bill, 26th of February 2018, phone call. Something happened on the Saturday night, and this is Monday. So what was it? What occurred? Okay, so talking with Bill, 26th of February 2018, phone call. Something happened on the Saturday night, and this is Monday.
Now, you got to remember, I know exactly where Stourton is, where Stourton Woods are. You know the field we were in?
Oh yeah, back in Wordsley.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's Worcester.
Oh, okay, so the West Midlands, yeah.
Yeah, that's Worcester. It's actually called in the village of Worcester. It leads on to Worsley. You go down that track, the one field's in Worsley, one's in Worcester.
Okay.
Get it? Now, I know exactly where that place is from anywhere around that area. So, I'm at my daughter's till about 7, and about 7:30, Saturday night, the traffic was absolutely horrendous in Dudley, and I couldn't see a damn thing. And there's something wrong with my screen of my car. It blurs every time the lights are coming towards it, it blurs up. It's like a film on it I can't get off. Anyway, you know what it's like when you've got roadworks in more places like Wordsley? Well, I'm coming down between Kingswinford and Wordsley. You've been down that road. I don't know if you remember, we came past it, and we've been down it, but we came past it. And I said, that's the road to Wordsley.
I don't recall at the moment, I have to say. But...
I'm coming down there where we were. Well, I'm on the main road, which is about half a mile away from that area.
Okay.
And there's no traffic coming towards me, so I've got complete view, yeah? And I look up in the sky, and it was Hillary that reminded me of this. I looked up in the sky, and I saw a crucifix over Stourton Woods, where I was stuck from as a kid, with the reptiles and everything.
Oh, the reptilian event, yeah.
The Nords.
And the Nords.
Yeah, all the events of that time, 10 till 11, whatever it was, my age is 10, 11.
Yeah.
Was in that area. This crucifix was right over us.
What did it look like it was? Did it look like it was the clouds in a form?
No, listen to what I'm going to tell you. I'll have to tell you.
Go on.
I'll explain it all to you. The first thing I saw when I looked up was it looked just like a crucifix. And I thought, Christ, you know, like, even me as a non-believer, look at it as some kind of Christ thing in the sky. Well, I looked at the road and looked back again, and it had started to turn. And I noticed it wasn't a crucifix. It was like a crucifix with, in the middle of it. You know when you put one of these stars on the top of your Christmas tree?
Yeah.
It was like that, with just that 5 things coming off, like a leaf.
It's like 5 points to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain.
Like a 5-pointed star in the centre of this crucifix kind of structure.
But when I looked again, it was actually round.
What, the crucifix was round?
No, the whole thing was round. The whole thing. It was a round, solid object. But as I was coming down the road, I still had good view. And I was going past it. And I saw it stuck in the sky as a solid object. And emanating from it. Now, Hillary called it, she's seen this as well. She said it was pulsing. I said, well, to me, the light was emanating out of it, like lots of little lights, blending into one light. That's what she called pulsating, I called it something else. And that's what I saw. And it was a solid object. I saw it from the side as well, which I could see part of the top and part of the side. And it looked like a solid object then. It didn't look anything like a crucifix then. It was a solid metallic object. Light emanating from it. And all these lights blended into one light. It was like thousands of little lights. Lights I've probably never seen before. There's solid colours of lights, you know.
Yeah, was it all white light or were there other colours?
It turned into a light I can't describe. A very bright light, but I can't describe the light. I suppose Hillary's right when she said pulsating, but I'll call it more emanating lights from inside. They were coming to the outside and turning into a different light.
If I said to you, well, do you think if you had to say which direction the colour was going toward, that it might be pinky reddy or bluey greeny, would you have any sense of that or not?
No.
No, okay.
That's what I'm trying to say to you.
No, I understand, yeah, I'm just
Turning
asking.
into a really bright light. I could still see all the little lights emanated into the bright light, making a bright light.
Did you have a sense of size of going back to the crucifix? Was it just a little thing?
It was big. That's why I made me notice it. It was just massive. I'm talking half a mile away, 3 inches. No. 2 inches. But half a mile away, it looked 2 inches. So you can tell how big it was. Probably a mile away, probably, where I was. You understand my logic, what I'm saying. It looked about 2 inches. That's about right. That's big.
So what was the sky like? Was it cloudy? Was it clear? Was it blue? Was it grey?
Cloudy, it was raining. It wasn't anywhere near the cloud. It was right over the wood. And I mean right over the wood, right over.
When you say right over, are you meaning that it was very close to the treetops?
No, not too close. No, not that close.
So not near the cloud level?
No, nowhere near the cloud level. It was right down. I'd say it was 500 foot in the air. 500 foot.
So when it looked like a crucifix, was that just for like a second, do you think?
God, driving. There was no traffic coming towards me at that time. I'm going to tell you how I lost it with traffic.
How long was the crucifix there for?
Well, what happened was, as I was coming down, I saw the crucifix in the sky. And I looked in front of me to see if there was anything that could cause it. And when I looked back, it had changed from a crucifix into like a 5. Then it looked like a star. The 5 thing I told you about you put on top of a Christmas tree.
Yeah, the whole thing looked like a star.
Yeah. Then, as I was going a bit further down, this happened within about, say, 2 miles. I'm going 2 miles while this is going on. Before traffic started coming towards me, I couldn't see a damn thing. Yeah, as I come down, I went about another probably 500 yards, say, 400 yards. And I looked up again, and it was turning. And then it looked like a solid object with these little lights all blending to the front of this, or back, or top. I don't know. Because it was like, it wasn't X-shaped like the other one. Like that. It's just like one solid.
From your perspective and direction, were you moving toward it?
No, it was to the side of me. I was coming down the Stourton Woods and Worsley was to my left. And I know the area so well, I can tell where that was. It was in the spot where I was took from. And that must be for me. It had to be for me, that did. I mean, normally I'll say no, but this had to be for me.
Had to be personal message, you mean?
Yes, it had to be.
Oh, that's interesting. I would never think that you'd think that.
Well, I don't normally. Normally I dismiss it.
Just going back to these structures and things, did the crucifix appear, was it like a regular crucifix shape, you know, the longer vertical with a shorter horizontal?
I remember something. I was driving, it shocked me. The first thing shocked me. And I had to look back at it to see if I'd actually seen what was. It shocked me.
I understand.
Great crucifix, right. Oh, and also, an emanation of lights coming up to the top or side. It was like lights coming through a diamond.
Like a prism.
I don't know what a prism would look like compared to a diamond.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen a light coming through a diamond or a prism.
Well, what made you see it was a cross? What differentiated the...
Oh, yeah. All right, then. If something's made of glass, solid, and it's behind the light, you wouldn't see the glass, you'd only see what was inside it. That's the only way I can try and describe what I'm trying to describe.
Right, that took the shape of a cross.
It was a big round light, with like a cross inside it. Initially, that's the first thing I saw.
So the first thing you were aware of was a crucifix kind of cross.
As I looked at it again, I was coming down. It was in one position, it didn't move. I was the one that was moving, not that. I'll try and explain that. I started to see it from the side because it didn't move. When I was coming down the road, it was fully in front of me, as a cross. Then I looked again, and of course I'd gone a bit further. Then it looked like a star. Then I went down a bit further, and I was seeing the side of it. It all happened within a mile and a half. And I was doing about 50 miles an hour. Well, I was going to try and explain to you, I lost. They'd made it into a one-way system, and I couldn't get back to it because there was so much traffic. Every time I tried to go up a side street, I'd got cars behind me as well. Nowhere to park, nowhere to turn. It was bloody horrendous for a village. Completely gone. I'll tell you something about this abduction scenario, or whatever you want to call it. There are certain races who can take you in the middle of people for the millisecond, take you away for 10 years of their time or whatever, and bring you back exactly the same spot, and you go, whoops, what was that? I believe that's happened to me. It's not a certainty, so that's why I don't talk about that. I only talk about certainties, really, that I believe to be certainties.
Well, listen, I think that's really something else, because you would never in all your life have you ever experienced something of that nature, of what you just experienced on Saturday night.
Not that I remember.
Not that you recall. The fact that you're awake, you're driving 50 miles an hour.
I've seen lots of UFOs in the sky. I've seen lots of them, but I've never seen anything that close without being took. Never seen anything that close without being taken. As I was coming from my daughter's, I was looking over to Stourton, because you can see it from the top of Dudley anyway. I know where it is, and I know the direction. And of course I looked, wondering if there was anything up there.
Do you think it might be a signal for you to go visit that area again?
Well, the funny thing is, the day before, Matt was here.
You're right.
And Matt said to me the day before...
He's your musician friend?
Yeah. He's from about 20 miles from there. But he knows the area. And he said to me, this was the day before, on Thursday he said to me, why don't me and you take a trip down there to all these places that you talked about in the book? Think about it, Joanne. Then I'll go up there and I'm at my daughter's. It seemed to happen in a couple of days. Like, since Matt said, we ought to go down there and have a look at these places.
Yeah, it would be interesting to go back, but I find that really fascinating because what came into my mind was not anything of a particularly religious significance, but that you have been crucified in your life. It's kind of symbolic. So we're talking about Hilary Porter, and did she also see a crucifix?
She's seen exactly the same as I have, but we interpreted it slightly different.
Oh, right. So she saw the crucifix.
When I said emanating from, that was the only difference we had. All the pulsating.
Okay, you're going to have to tell her about that. That's really interesting.
Yeah, we spoke about it yesterday.
Oh, did you? Oh, I see.
Which road I was on? I was on the road between the main road between Kingswinford and Kidderminster, going past Wordsley towards Stourton. Because Stourton's quite big, it starts up the road because Roy Wood used to live in Stourton, which is not the area I'm talking about. I should have explained all this to you, really, but...
That is absolutely fascinating. So, I mean, good heavens, I mean, a crucifix. What did Hilary think about it?
She was just saying she's doing the same thing. As I said, the only difference between our stories or what we saw is she said pulsating and I say emanating. Where the light was emanating, it was like, as I was going past it was a solid object, like an egg-shaped flat egg shape.
Did you say like a flat egg shape?
Yeah, like an egg flat, really flat.
You're right, okay.
Rounded. I don't know what to call it, like a bowl. I find things hard to explain as well.
That's all right. Yeah, I think maybe the word elliptical is the best one. It's sort of not exactly egg, but a narrower egg shape.
Well, you can call it back and front, top and bottom. The shape it was in the sky, the position it was in. The back of it was completely black.
Oh, right, really?
The front of it was completely light. You get me?
Do you think it could have been a projection?
No. It was a solid object, positive.
Right.
I mean, I thought that thing outside the house at Gabowen was a projection. But it looked like a projection to me.
Yeah, the 300-foot cone-shaped object.
Because I thought it was from a fair.
Yes, I know.
But this was not a projection. I'm absolutely certain this was a solid object.
Okay.
I didn't notice it first when I saw the crucifix first.
Yes.
I only saw that for a second, and I looked at the road and looked back at it, thinking, what was that? Because, I mean, I didn't catch on straight away. That's something I caught straight on to. And I looked and I went, what the fuck was that? And I looked again and I thought, holy shit. And of course I was driving as well. I didn't want to run into anything. And I'm going 50 miles an hour and I can't slow down because I've got cars behind me. I've got none in front of me, luckily.
What sort of time of day was it?
7:30.
Okay, so it was already dark.
Well, between 7:30 and 8, yeah, it was dark. And the roads were bloody jam-packed. With roadworks being there, you get a stream of cars, and then you get on. And luckily, for that time I was going past Wordley, there were no cars coming towards me.
So this cross in the sky then must have looked really prominent because of the dark sky and the...
Oh, it was absolutely in my face. It was in my face. It wasn't a little star in the sky. This was a big, solid object. I didn't know it was a solid object at first until I looked at it from the side and saw what it was. Black, completely black at the back. Black as the sky. If it had been turned upside down, I wouldn't have known it was there. If the black side had been facing towards it, I wouldn't have known it was there.
So it was meant for you to see it, for sure.
I think so this time. On this occasion...
Does that have any meaning for you or not?
No. Unless I've done what I've got to do and I'm going to die tomorrow.
I don't think so.
That's how I'd look at it. Coming and telling me you've done enough, come back or come home or... No, I don't know. I mean, I know as much as anyone else, Joanne.
Yeah, I know.
I know no more than anyone else knows about anything. But I have seen things that make me open my eyes. And as I was saying to somebody, I don't think any of us will ever know.
Maybe you're right.
If the human race was wiped out tomorrow, what difference would that make to the universe?
Well, and on that question...
Yeah, these questions are going through my mind constantly.
Well, anyway, listen, thanks for letting me know, because that really is interesting. I'm glad you spoke to Hilary. That's really interesting. I'll have a word with Hilary as well and have a chat. Yeah, and it'd be great that it will be on Ken on the Beams website as well.
I was just going say when you put on Facebook, put this is also on the website, you know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I do believe Hillary, even though she's scatty.
Things happen to a person no matter what their personality. I mean, it's not personality dependent, so you can be scatty or together or whatever. It's no respecter of persons in that regard. All right, anyway, Chuck, before you say anything else, I have to cut out.
But I do believe Hillary. Anyway, we'll talk again.
All righty, my dear. I hope you're feeling better as well with things.
All right, dear.
Know when Hillary's was. I'll have to ask her about that. I cannot remember her telling me about that event through our interview together. In the meantime, folks, enjoy and please read the book. Let me know what you think. Please send some positive comments and reviews. That would be absolutely lovely. This is Joanne Summerscales from the ET Newsroom. Over now.